Welcome to today's show. Today, we are going to be talking about all of the amazing benefits of becoming a multi-unit franchisee and growing an enterprise that will help you achieve certain business and financial goals and allow you to make your dream of business ownership and time and financial freedom come true. Now, scaling into multi-unit franchise organization offers a lot of benefits, and it can significantly impact the success as you grow in the organization. We always say that one unit is a job, multiple units is an enterprise. And if you know that, you have to know that there's a lot of other benefits that come from growing a multi-unit organization. So in today's show, I'm going to share with you 11 key advantages that you get by growing a multi-unit organization. Now, I know that is not easy to do, but I promise you that as you grow into a multi-unit enterprise and you reach the 10, 15, 20 unit organization the right way, it will actually become easier to run such an organization than it is to run 1 or 2 units. But you have to go from 1 or 2 units until this 10, 15, 20 unit organization for it to become easy. So there's a pain in between, but I promise you that getting there is worth your time and effort. So let's get into the 11 key benefits that I want to share with you today about growing a multi-unit organization. And I'm going to start with the very first one, which I think is probably the most important for most people. And that is that you're multiplying your profits. 1 unit gets you X amount of the money, 2 units, 2X, 3 units, 3X, 4 units, 4X, and so forth, so on. So every time you're opening a new unit, you're literally multiplying the profits that you're getting from your organization. So that's a huge key benefit of having a multi-unit organization. Let's go to second key benefit of owning a multi-unit organization, and that is economies of scale. As you are operating multiple units, this will allow you to benefit from economies of scale. This means that you're going to have, for example, an above store team at some point, and certain number of people can actually handle a higher volume of units. So as you're adding units, the cost per unit for the above store cost will be reduced. This is one of the ways that you can achieve economies of scale. Another way is that if you have a large organization and you go to negotiate maybe maintenance support, or maybe you're gonna some service support on cleaning rugs, for example, anytime you negotiate with your vendors and you bring into the table a portfolio of units that they're going to service, you're going to be able to achieve economies of scale because you're going to be able to get a lower cost negotiated per unit when you are able to bring a large number of units to your organization, which then improves the profitability per unit. All right, so let's go to the third key benefit of owning a multi-unit organization, and that is that you are diversifying your risk. This means that by owning multiple units in a franchise, if you have 1 or 2 units that are underperforming, you will be able to overcome or compensate with all the other units that are doing well, and therefore make the organization more stable. Now, we don't want to have underperforming units. I get it, but having a large organization gives you the time to see if you are able to turn these units over, or so I say, turn them around and make them better, or it gives you the time to analyze, look, the right decision is to either relocate them, close them, sell them, do something with them. But the fact that the other units are allowing you to stabilize your organization, even though you have a couple of losers, then, you still are able to make smart decisions and not irrational and too fast decisions because of the struggling units. So diversifying risk is a huge benefit of a multi-unit organization. Now let's go to the fourth key benefit of having a multi-unit enterprise, and that is the fact that you are going to be acquiring or having or experiencing brand recognition and market efficiency. What do I mean by that? If you have a large organization for multiple units, you're more than likely to be able to own the region, and therefore every effort that you have that can benefit the region, the area, will be beneficial of all the units. So not that you're going to be using it for some of your units and still give benefit to other franchisees with the same brand. By you owning, the area, for you owning the market allows you to be much more efficient on your marketing. And as you're growing multiple units, even if you're the only franchisee in the market, every unit that you open is giving you incremental brand recognition. And along with incremental brand recognition comes trust, therefore comes sales. So definitely growing more allows you to increase your sales simply because people are getting to know who you are, what you do, what you deliver, and that you even exist. exist. So that is a tremendous benefit of having a multi-unit organization. So let's go to benefit number 5, and that would be streamline operations. Now, the reason for this is that as you are growing and you are gaining experience, because I mean, every time you open a unit, you're gaining experience, you're learning more and more things, and you are able to now use this new knowledge, these new best practices that you are learning, and implement them in every single new unit additional. So not only are you benefiting the units that you already have, but as you're learning more and more, the new units of the future are also benefiting from that knowledge and experience that you're acquiring as you grow in your organization. You now are able to develop systems that benefit everybody. You are able to have more consistent service standards because you are able to have more consistency in training across your units. You are able to have operational efficiency because how people do things in one unit, if they're trained properly, they're doing the same in all the units. Now, this is assuming that you are creating systems and processes and procedures and policies for your organization, that you are documenting them, that you are training them, and that you're delegating them properly, and then follow up to make sure that this happens. So there is a caveat. It's true that you will have better operational efficiency and better profit and all the things that we talked about, but for you to maximize this, you need to have all these processes and procedures in place so that every unit operates the same as the next one. So let's go to key benefit number 6, and this is that as you grow in the organization, franchisors notice, and depending on how big you get, you will be able to acquire a greater influence within the franchisor system. It is a fact that the larger operators in the brand, the top performing franchisees too, so not just large operators, but the large operators that do a good job, they are able to influence the franchisor because clearly you're being successful. Clearly you know more than the average franchisee in the system. Therefore, they're going to listen to you more than they would a single unit franchisee that may or may not be successful. Having that allows you to have a say in many of the franchisor decisions, believe it or not. And if you really care as much about you and as the franchisor success, they're actually going to be more and more open about what you had to say. Also, simply because you will know who's who in the organization, you may be able to get more attention and support from the franchisor simply because of the relationship that you're building and the fact that you're such a large organization. They want to ensure that you are successful. So that's a great benefit, right? So let's go to benefit number 7, and that is the opportunity to capture territorial development. Obviously, if you are a multi-unit franchisee and you're building an enterprise, this means that you're successful. That means that you know what you're doing, that the likelihood of success is much higher than somebody else that is just growing for the first time. And therefore, franchisors are more likely to give you a larger territory because they trust that you're going to do a good job. And so having that access, that opportunity, you might be the first person that people call, whenever they're willing to sell because they know that you do well and you're more than likely have the money for it too. So not only will the franchisor provide you a larger territory opportunity, but other fellow franchisees that may be wanting to sell, they might go to you first simply because they know that you're probably going to be a likely buyer, especially if they are in the same brand that you are. Not only that though, but as you capture more and more brand, you're going to be able to take over potential competition, even if it's within the same brand, because at the end of the day, a lot of brands do share market share within the same market, and you may have 2 franchisees sharing market share, but if you own all of them, then you have the entire market to yourself, and therefore you have much bigger opportunity of control. So great benefit of you growing into multi-unit enterprise. The 8th key benefit of having a multi-unit enterprise is that you get to attract better talent. I would say that by far in my 30+ year career in the industry, I know that a large multi-unit franchisees that are able to then offer growth opportunity in their markets will attract better talent. Why is that? Because they can offer opportunity for growth. They can offer a career. They can offer a way for people to come in the organization from the bottom and have a career that is satisfactory, that is fun, and that it pays them more money because they're growing within the organization. Single unit franchisees don't have that opportunity. Single unit franchisees are hiring people that literally are going to be there for a little while and probably go on somewhere else to build a career. Like very few people are going to want to be frontline staff in a franchise unit unit forever. And so one of the benefits of being a multi-unit organization that is growing especially is that you are able to offer people a career path. And for that reason, higher or better talent wants to come and work for you. So it's a great, great benefit. The number 9 benefit of becoming a multi-unit franchisee is that you get to build assets. Each additional unit is an asset that can appreciate in value. Every unit, as you have it, you manage well, it does well, you have a record of increased revenue. Obviously, it becomes a higher value. It appreciates this value year over year. So the more units you have, the higher going to be the net worth for you as a franchisee. And imagine how much more if you actually own the dirt, or should I say the land underneath those units. It's a tremendous amount of value that you're building, and a great way to build net worth and open your opportunities for the future sale or to leverage to continue your growth in your organization. And so definitely asset building is the 9 key benefit of becoming a multi-unit franchisee. So let's talk about the number 10 benefit of becoming a multi-unit franchisee. And that is that you get to leverage your experience. You know, like I mentioned, as you are learning in your organization, not only can you then share best practices, as I mentioned earlier, but you are able to also avoid past mistakes. You can really leverage all that knowledge and experience that you're getting and apply those best practices in your organization every day. Every new unit is a potential better, smoother, more profitable unit that you're building because you're leveraging the experience that you're having through the years of building a multi-unit organization. I always say that growing a multi-unit organization is building an enterprise, but if you get to the 50 units, 75, 100, you may be just building an empire. Imagine the possibilities for you, your family, and your future if you actually get to do things like that. But even as a 20-unit franchisee, believe me, it's very comfortable, very good place to be, and a fun place to be, which then brings us to the 11th benefit of being a multi-unit franchisee, of growing a multi-unit enterprise, and that is achieving true time and financial freedom. Now, we already established the financial freedom because as you open more units, you're multiplying your profits. But what about the time freedom that you're achieving? Because as you're growing, you're building a leadership team. You are training and developing the leaders that know your culture, your organization, you know them, and you're able to trust each other more. And therefore, you are able to hire and promote district managers, maybe director operations, to whom you can actually delegate your day-to-day operations, which then in turn gives you more flexibility with your time, which then gives you the freedom that you want and deserve. The more units that you have, the more leadership infrastructure, the more freedom that you can have. Now, what you do with that freedom, whether you could be focusing on strategy or maybe just growing more, or maybe you're spending that freedom and having fun and traveling and going on vacation, the beautiful thing about it is that it's your choice what you do at that point. So again, all of this has the caveat that you have to create systems and processes and procedures to support that large organization. If you don't do that, it will just become a lot more headaches and who knows, more loss, not profit. So that is the one thing that you need to understand. There's a lot of increased responsibilities that come when you're scaling a multi-unit organization. And those responsibilities had to do with having multiple businesses. Every unit is a business. Also imagine the amount of workforce that you now are responsible for. You have to manage all these individuals in the organization. There are people that you have to take care of and be aware of their needs and their wants and lead them in the right direction, which is why having great leaders is so important for you to be able to delegate that responsibility to them, still with your guidance and your support. Now, for you to be able to do that, you have to have solid business acumen. You need to have effective management skills. You need to have the capacity of handling the complexities of a large organization. So before you go grow into a huge organization, make sure that you have the skills that you need to be able to do it successfully so that you can achieve that dream state of time and financial freedom. Now, one of the ways I'm going to remind you every time that you can achieve that knowledge and that experience and those tools and resources is through our command program here at the American Franchise Academy. That is what that command program is focused on, helping franchisees that want to become or are already multi-unit franchisees and need those impactful systems and procedures so that they can give their leaders the tools and the knowledge they need to be successful so that you can delegate operations and achieve your business and financial goals. So if you're interested to learn more about the command program, I invite you to go to our website at americanfranchiseacademy.com, go to our programs page, and you will see our command program as one of the best-in-class programs that we offer to help you achieve your dream of time and financial freedom. area. So I hope that this was helpful to you. If you're considering becoming a franchisee and multi-unit franchisee, should I say, and grow an enterprise, I hope that this gives you a little bit of inspiration and excitement to be able to make that happen. And if it did, how about you subscribe to our channel, follow us here at the podcast so that you can then continue to get the tips and ideas and information that we are providing so that you can have success. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.